Alright, thank you for tuning back into Dan Cabinet Photography. Today, let's talk about film. It's a medium that's made a comeback in the last few years. It's a format, a medium that I really enjoy. I like the look, but I like the pace. I like the process. That bleeds into the digital stuff too. The digital stuff's gotten just too sophisticated. I like it simpler. I like it to be more in control of the image, not so much a computerized box. A whole different subject matter. But as I've grown into this type of photography, I didn't really do it as a kid. I shot a lot of 35 and point and shoots, and then went to digital. Never really did the SLR thing. Never learned to develop my own film. But as I've gotten into it and picked up these cameras, because they're inexpensive, generally speaking. One of the formats I really like, and I like the medium format, is the 6x6 square, because not only is it a bigger negative than a 35 millimeter, it's a square format, which gives you different eye training for photography. You have to kind of look things a little differently, find compositions that work well in the square. Now, of course, you could take the broader picture and crop it to a square and digital and all of that, if that works. But from this perspective, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. Now, what I want to talk about now is the TLR Rolleiflex. Rolleiflex is like the Cadillac version of the twin lens reflex camera. Twin lens being at one, as you look through the viewfinder up top, this is how you see what you're looking at with that lens, and this is your taking lens. Now, I haven't figured out. Now, you have to learn a certain adjustment for that, because you're not looking directly through this lens, so your composition can be a little different. But I haven't figured that out yet. Anyway, so 6x6 format. This one has a crank. This particular version is the 3.5. It's got the Tessar lens, a 75 millimeter, and it's a B version, I believe. I picked this up on eBay, and the reason I bought it, I'll tell you, I mean, Rolleiflexes, you can't have too many Rolleiflexes as far as I'm concerned. But this one, my wife bought me for my birthday a few years ago out of the kindness of her heart. She doesn't know the first thing about photography, not interested at all. She'd heard me mention Rolleiflex at some point. She bought this on eBay. When I got it, it was not usable. It looked like it had been kicked down 10 flights of concrete stairs. It was a mess. Something I personally would have never bought. But I'm really glad she did. It was sweet. I was able to actually find somebody to fix it. There's not a lot of people that work on these things. Mark Hansen out of Wisconsin. So I did a whole video on resurrecting this camera through Mark, and did some pictures. He fixed it. I was able to take some pictures, run some film through it. I was super happy. The lens is fantastic. Quite a miracle, because this camera dates to December 1929. This camera is 94 years old, and it still works. It takes great pictures. So I'm super happy to have it, but I want to take a lot of film. I want to get good at it. It's not a medium I'm very good at yet. I've gone through hell trying to learn this stuff. It's expensive too. I do a whole other video on that. But what I did, I want to run a lot of film through it, and I didn't want to do it in this camera. It's old. It's not real efficient in terms of use compared to others, and I just don't want to put it through the paces. I'll take it out every once in a while, put some film through it, because I like it and all that, but it's not something I want to make a workhorse, if you will. So I picked this guy up on eBay. This one was actually built in the 50s. It's the 3.5B. With the Rolleiflexes, they seem to go A, B, C, D, E, F. Each version having something a little different about it. After this is the 2.8 version, which I believe is the planar lens. It has a 80 millimeter versus a 75. Not a lot of difference there. A lot of people think that the planar is a little bit better. Could be 6 of one, half does the other. This is sharp. I mean, you can only get so sharp. Do I need the extra stops of light? Not usually. And then as the 2.8 goes, again, A, B, C, D, E, and this 2.8F is like the primo, the one everybody wants, and it's really expensive if you get a really nice one. Someday, I just, we'll get that someday. And anyway, I have this camera. I bought this on eBay. Got it from Japan, from a very reputable dealer with a bazillion positives. I got it what I feel is a really good price. Looked in really good shape. But I got it back. I sent it to Mark for a CLA. And as soon as it came back to me from him, it was in really good shape. Need a little shutter adjustment, and it's good to rock and roll. So I went out. I took a couple of rolls of film. Took a color. I used Kodak Portra 400, and I took a roll of Ilford 5 400 black and white. And while I was out there, I just used my cell phone and ran around. And so let's go ahead and get into that video right now. All right, so I'm downtown Petaluma right now with the Rollei. Sweet little camera. I just am not very good at using this stuff, so obviously it's all about practice, and that's what I'm doing. So I just hope I'm doing things right. But yeah, I thought I'd come downtown. It's pretty quiet right now, which is great. Not a lot of people. There's a lot of charm to this town. Got great light because it's sunny right now. So I'm just going to continue shooting this roll. This is a roll of Portra 400, and then I've got another roll of a black and white. I think it's Ilford. Yeah, it's Ilford HP5 Plus 400, so I'll be putting that in when this is done. So yeah, we'll see how the images come out. All right, so I finished up the roll of color, so go ahead and display for you guys right now. All right, first thing I got to say is I love the colors in this film, the color saturation. It's exactly what I would expect from the film. It's the look I want when I take pictures. My town just happens to fit the model as well because it's old. It matches. But I had composition problems in a couple. This one, cut the bottom off a little bit, and then on this little motorcycle, I cut the tires off. That has to do with the twin lens reflex issue, where you're not really looking through the lens. This is the Hunt & Barron's grain mill, and it's the tallest building in Petaluma. And I like this lady between the trees with her dog. And now I'm on to the black and white, still downtown. Again, super quiet. It's Friday after Thanksgiving. Not a lot of boats, but kind of like it this way. Beautiful outside. Now the sun's gotten up there pretty high. Generally, obviously not great for most photography, but for black and white film, we're going to get some good contrast, I think, and that's what I'm going to be looking for, kind of cool contrasty images. All right, so this film is much grainier than the other Portra, I guess. It's not supposed to be as grainy. Anyway, the sky was blown out because it was afternoon. I think a red filter would help darken that sky and bring a lot more contrast into the images, which is what I would prefer anyway. So I'm going to look into that. Maybe a yellow filter. Any comments on that would be great, since I'm pretty new to this whole thing. Overall, pretty satisfied with the images. Very satisfied with the camera. I cannot wait to continue to shoot. This was my favorite image, this lady with her dog. I don't know, it just appealed to me. This is great. Again, the sky was pretty grainy. I don't know why some are more grainy than others. I really like this composition as well in my next favorite image. And then the reflection got cut off because of the lens issue. All right, so had a good time. I'm looking forward to using this thing much more, doing a lot more film photography. Again, it's expensive. I mean, it's close to 40 bucks a roll. You only get 12 pictures per roll. And what's amazing about that, and it's part of the reason I like this so much, is because it takes me longer to shoot 12 pictures on this than 400 or 500 easily on my DSLRs. I mean, you really have to think about what you're doing and what you're taking. Otherwise, you're just blasting through film. That's quite expensive. I mean, it's usually 35, 40 bucks by the time you pay for the film, send it out, get it processed, get it digitized and scanned in and all that. Again, it's like 40 bucks. And it's okay once in a while, but if you got the money, great. But I want to eventually, though, take this and graduate to a bigger format, 4x5, maybe even 8x10. At any rate, so far super happy with the camera. Looking forward to doing more videos on film. on this camera and some others. And yeah, so if you have any questions, comments, please let me know. If you're a Rollei fan, please let me know. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. Please like, subscribe, share, and don't forget, keep shooting. Goodbye.